Good morning, this is Robert White. I'm here on behalf of Jefferson County political activists. I'm up at City Hall and I'm with Mayor John Lewis, and just wanted to ask him a few questions as it pertains to this proposed 1% sales tax that the City Council will be reviewing and possibly taking action on. So with that. So Mayor, you've done a press release concerning the 1% sales tax you guys are considering. So wanted to talk to you about this. It seems like this is going to move pretty quickly, so can you explain basically what the desire is for such a hurried timeline?
Mainly, we were notified or discovered Monday of this week that if we don't have this done and the ordinance in the hands of the Department of Revenue in the state of Illinois by October 1st, we can't implement this until July 1st. I do not want the neighbors my neighbors and the people to have that burden until July 1st of the meter tax. We promised it would go away, and we want it to go away by January 1.
Okay. All right, so we're talking about, so there's actually two actions. One is this 1% sales tax. The other is to remove the water meter fee. So just real quickly, the proposed sales tax, what do you estimate to be the annual revenue for this 1% proposed sales tax?
We estimate it to be approximately $3.4 million as opposed to $1.1 million with a meter tax.
Okay.
The state of Illinois, because of their new budget, will take about $68,000 of that $3.4 million that citizens will not see.
Right. Personally, that to me is criminal. And 68,000, what, 2 squad cars? Or at least
squad cars that the citizens could own.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so one of the concerns, and I know that previously when the water meter fee was considered and then instituted, I talked quite a bit with Councilman Moore, and he was in favor of the water meter fee mainly because this money is directly, it has to be spent on the water line upgrades, whereas a sales tax can go to general corporate and then be used for other things. So I know that there's more to this than just water. So what specifically, if the council decides to pass this 1% sales tax, what exactly will this money be used for?
Okay, we have the same mindset as the previous administration, obligating the meter tax strictly to water and sewer. This new sales tax will be obligated strictly for services that we've identified we're in desperate need of. It'll essentially fund 5 different things. The water and sewer, which will enhance the longevity of our water treatment plant, which is a major expense. We'll also be able to fund roads. Our road program is not kept up with the deterioration of our roads in Mount Vernon.
I can attest to that personally.
So
yes, sir.
We'll be able to address that issue. We'll be able to hopefully start paying down our bond debt early, saving the taxpayers millions of dollars in interest. We'll also address some of those monies to dilapidated homes in our city, which we get complaints constantly about the blight they see. And there's one other thing, that we've got so many things going. And it'll fund the implementation of a vehicle and equipment replacement program. We identified $6 million worth of vehicles that have to be replaced fairly quickly. We've whittled that down to 3. Even with this tax, it's going to be many, many years to even get our heads above water. And also in this ordinance, we are obligating all those funds to only those 5 areas. It will not be used for any government expansion or employees of any type.
Okay. All right. So with that in mind, if this goes through, and again, we have a quick timeline for the action, but the sales tax monies do not start being collected until January, and then of course you don't start seeing that money until probably March would be the earliest. So how soon should the people of Mount Vernon, I know I've been seeing a lot of activity. I'm seeing overlays. I know some of that's the state, some of that's the county, but I've seen a lot of work with finishing up North 27th, water issues, and of course Perkins is open now, which is great. But how soon should citizens really start to see something meaningful as a result of the actions you guys are attempting to take?
I would say fairly quickly. The meter tax will go away January 1st. The sales tax will be implemented January 1st. And as you say, there'll be a delay with the sales tax for us actually realizing the money. But we do have monies available collected from the meter tax. So we are starting this process immediately. Bids will be going out fairly quickly on some of the acoustical studies and water tower replacements. So they're going to start seeing things immediately.
Okay. On the Jefferson County Political Activist page, you posted the press release there, and we appreciate that. There's been a lot of comments and questions, and some of the questions you're already starting to address. The next question would be, how does this translate financially to the people of Mount Vernon? So I before we sat down, I just ran the numbers myself. At my house, I pay $10 a month, and at my office, I now pay $25 a month for water meter fees, so that's $35 a month. If I take that amount and divide it by 0.01, which is 1%, which would be the sales tax, I would in essence have to spend $3,500 on stuff in the city of Mount Vernon that is not food, that is not medication, that is not vehicles. And just looking at my budget, I'm hard pressed to even find $1,000, which would be my threshold if I just had my house and didn't have a separate building or a commercial building to pay that extra money. So I know you guys have looked at some numbers because the motivation was you're trying to provide relief to the retired individuals, people on fixed or limited incomes. You're trying to relieve some of that financial pressure, correct?
That is correct. Those are the people I think I'm tasked to watch out for and to take care of. Those people that are struggling every day for food, medicine, utilities, the basic requirements of life. And so that's what I'm looking for. I think the meter tax, they had some good ideas when they passed it. I think it's just an undue burden on the lowest people in our society economically as a burden. I get complaints all the time, they just can't afford it. $10 each and every month is a lot of money, and they're trying to make decisions between food and medicine and paying their water bill. The tax, although I do not like any taxes, 60% of sales tax is paid by people that don't even live here, especially from the interstate. So the way that breaks down with the census figures for Mount Vernon is that approximately 52.8% of the residents in Mount Vernon will pay $2.25 a month or less instead of the $10 a month. So each and every citizen is going to realize $7.75 savings each and every month. Just that figures of close to $30,000 that they will be able to put back into the economy of Mount Vernon and buy things. Those figures, the $225 a month or less, is based if you spend 100% of all your discretionary spending, which isn't usually done by everybody. You try and save some or invest some, but
Certainly.
So we think it would be just much better for the people that are struggling in this community.
Okay. Other than that, anything else you'd like to share at this time concerning this action or anything else?
No, like I said, it was a tough decision. That's what we were elected to make, some tough decisions. We've discovered all these other issues within the city about the streets not being maintained, the vehicles not being maintained, a lot of safety issues for our employees here, and this will address them all at a much lower cost than what they're paying right now. And anytime I can reduce the expenditures for the citizens, I'm going to do that.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time for getting this out to the public.
Not a problem, sir.